Hi besties, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. My name is Rachel, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about all of the books that I want to read in the month of March. March is going to be fantastic, you guys, okay? I am so excited for March. Number one is because spring is coming. She is almost here. We are almost out of the dark, bad times. I am so excited about it. Number two, F1 is back, which is very, very exciting news for me. And most of all, I am meeting one of my booktube besties in real life, in the flesh, this month, and I can't even speak about it, honestly. I'm so excited and nervous, and I'm gonna throw up, and it's gonna be amazing. And yeah, this month is just gonna be so much fun. I also have plenty of exciting reading plans this month. I'm very, very excited for the videos that I have planned, and I'm excited to take you guys along. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let's talk about all the books that I will hopefully be reading this month. All right, number one, we're starting out strong. I am going to be reading the entire Infernal Devices trilogy this month. It's finally time, you guys. It is finally time I get into this trilogy. I read it. It just needs to happen. Every time I even just like casually mention this series in videos lately, you guys have been like, you need to read that. Rachel, you need to read the Infernal Devices. I am doing it. I am listening to you guys, and I'm very, very excited for this. So I'm going to be reading Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and of course, Clockwork Princess. So if you don't know, the Infernal Devices is part of the Shadowhunter Chronicles set of series by Cassandra Clare. It's a YA fantasy series, and it basically follows these demon hunters, and we also have like vampires and fallen angels and all these other really amazing creatures. And it's like a 14-book collection of series, and I've barely scratched the surface with the series, and I really, really want to read it. And everyone says the Infernal Devices is the best. It is the star of the show, and that I need to read it. So I'm really looking forward to picking this whole trilogy up. And I have decided I'm just gonna make an Infernal Devices reading vlog. I'm gonna binge the series, and I'm gonna film that and document that for you guys, and I hope I love it. I know literally nothing about this series. I know that it is set in Victorian London, which is really exciting. I like that a lot. And I think we have like a Tessa and a Will, perhaps. I feel like those names exist somewhere in the Cassandra Clare universe. So I do think that those are some of the characters in this book, in this series, and I am just so excited to finally get into this. I hope I love it. I hope it's a 5-star trilogy for me, and I can't wait to see what is in store for me. The next book that I want to read in the month of March is going to be Sweet Hand by N.G. Peltier. So this is the first book in the Island Bites series, which is a contemporary romance series, and this book sounds so much fun. So we have our two main characters are Charisse and Kieran. They've always butted heads, they've always not liked each other, but they end up being the maid of honor and best man in their friend's weddings. So they are going to be thrown together, forced proximity, have to get along, have to come together for the greater good of their friend's wedding. But of course, that's going to be hard for them. But I think that there's maybe like a one-night stand situation that happens, and so that throws in this whole other level of awkwardness of trying to navigate this relationship that they have where they hate each other, but they kind of had this moment together, but they don't know what to do, and then the wedding is going on. So I think this is going to be so much fun. I've heard it's really funny. I've heard the steam is fantastic, and I am just so looking forward to this. The next book that I want to read in March is going to be The Right Move by Liz Tomford. So this is the second book in the Windy City series, which is a contemporary sports romance series. I am currently reading the first book in the series, Mile High. Obsessed. I'm only like 100 pages in, but absolutely obsessed. And so I knew I had to put the second book on my March TBR. I have specifically seen so many people talk about this book, give it 5 stars, gush over it, say it's fantastic. I feel like this is going to be on a lot of the romance girlies best books of the year, so I want to pick it up. I want to get into it. This book is specifically a basketball romance, and in our two main characters, I think it's kind of like opposites attract a little bit. Our main character ends up needing a place to live, and so her best friend says, hey, why don't you go live with my brother in his penthouse? He travels a lot. This will be a great situation for you. And so Indy moves in with Ryan, and once they're living together, Ryan ends up needing to have a fake girlfriend to kind of be taken more seriously in his sport for whatever reason, but the two of them end up fake dating. It just sounds so much fun. I really like Liz Tomford's writing thus far. I've just heard so many people talk about this book. I think it's going to be fantastic, and she's also a stunner. Very much looking forward to this. The next book on my March TBR is going to be Hail Mary by Candy Steiner. This is a recent release from Candy Steiner, and it is the 4th book in the Red Zone Rivals series, which is a college sports romance series. I've only read the first book, which was Blindside, but it was fantastic. I gave it 4 stars. I loved it so much. And this book recently came out, and it's just been on my Instagram lately, and I want to pick it up. Also, the premise of this book sounds fantastic. We have hate to love and forced proximity because they end up being roommates. Say no more. You know, like that's all I need to know. I think that's going to be so much fun, so tension filled. I really like Candy Steiner's writing from what I've read from her so far. I generally enjoy her books, and I think that this one is definitely going to be a hit, so I'm very excited excited to pick this one up. The next book on my March TBR is going to be The Neighbor Favor by Christina Forrest. So this book is not out as of yet. This book comes out on February 28th, and this book sounds really, really cute. So the premise is our main character, she's kind of a shy, awkward, inexperienced, bookish gal, and she kind of ends up enlisting her neighbor to help her date. He sets her up on dates, he guides her, coaches her from my understanding, and all the while these two have been like anonymously communicating and sort of falling for each other online, but our main character Lily fights that. Also, our love interest is a fantasy author, which I think sounds so cool, so I think this is going to be a very bookish romance, which I think sounds really fantastic, and I'm just so excited to pick this up. I saw the cover and I was like, that is so beautiful, it is so bright, and I just love a bookish romance, so I'm really looking forward to this book and I hope that I love it. Okay, so with these next few books, one of my goals for the year of 2023 was to continue on or finish series that I am in the middle of, because let me tell you, I am in the middle of so many fantasy series. I am in the middle of every fantasy series, it feels like, and thus far I have not been achieving this goal at all, so I need to work on that, so that's gonna be a little bit of a theme for March. So number one, the first series that I actually wanna finish this month is the Remnant Chronicles trilogy. I read The Kiss of Deception, which is the first book, kind of towards the end of last year, and I loved that book. I thought it was so much fun. I gave it 4 stars. This series has not the greatest reviews on Goodreads, but you know what? I'm gonna speak my truth. I like this series. Is it like a life-changing fantasy romance? No, but it was pretty well written, and I really enjoyed myself, so I'm going to continue on with the trilogy, and I really hope that I continue to love it. So this series follows a princess who is kind of forced into an arranged marriage of a prince that she has never met, and she decides the morning of her wedding she's gonna run away, she's gonna peace out of there with one of her friends, and she goes and lives in this village and lives this anonymous life and thinks like, hey, life is good, I escaped, everything is peachy now. Well, it is not peachy, because an assassin and the prince that she was supposed to marry end up going to hunt her down for multiple reasons, and the book just takes many twists and turns from there. It's a really, really fun series. First book was great. I loved it, and I have heard that the second book, The Heart of Betrayal, is even better, and then we have the third book, The Beauty of Darkness. So I hope that I love this trilogy. I hope that this just ends up being like a really solid YA fantasy romance series for me, because The Kiss of Deception was gorgeous. So I'm looking forward to picking both of these up this month. Alrighty, and then speaking of fantasy romance series that I need to get cracking on, I want to read The Call of the Void by S.M. Gaither this month. So this is the third book in the Shadows and Crowns series. The first book is The Song of the Marked. I read that last year, loved it, 5 stars. The second book is A Twist of the Blade, and I gave that 4 stars. Liked it just a little bit less, but still very enjoyable. And now we are on to the third book. So if you don't know this series, it's new adult, it's a fantasy romance, and our main character Cassia, she lives in a kingdom that has been plagued by the sickness. She is one of the very few lucky people who have survived this sickness, and because of that, she ends up kind of getting hired slash forced to team up with the captain of the guard, and the two of them need to set out for the monarchy and find maybe a cure for what's going on, maybe a cause for this plague. They just want them to go investigate it. There's also a big emphasis on gods in this series, which is really, really enjoyable, and kind of their involvement. Are they involved with the plague? Are they not? And just kind of what role they play in this world. So I'm very excited to pick up the third book. I won't say what this book is about because it's the third in the series, obviously, but it looks like there are going to be a lot more elves in this book, which I love elves, so I'm really excited, and I just really hope that this book ends up being a hit. All right, so there is one more book that is tentatively on my March TBR, and that is the second book in the Mistborn trilogy. Here's the thing. I just read the first book, The Final Empire. I just finished it yesterday, but I was planning to read one Mistborn book a month for like the next 3 months, but here's the thing. I've overloaded myself, as you can see, and there's actually even more books on my TBR. I'll talk about that in a second, but I don't know if I'm gonna get to the second book in the Mistborn series this month, and I just don't want to rush that book. I want to really marinate in this series, so I may end up reading Mistborn, The Well of Ascension this month, or you may see it on my April TBR, and we're gonna forget that this conversation ever happened. But just know I will be reading that book either this month or next month. It really just depends how my schedule ends up panning out. All right, so I do actually have 4 more books on my March TBR, but I'm not gonna tell you guys what they are. I am doing a very fun kind of reading vlog challenge this month that I'm super excited about. It's gonna be very different for me, and I will just say, like, you guys, you could never guess what is going to be on this TBR for this video, but I figure for the fun of it all, for the theater of it all, all. I'm gonna keep it a secret. You guys will just have to see when that video comes out. It's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be something very different for me, but I am excited to shake things up a little bit and do something that I haven't done before. So just know I do have about 4 more books on my TBR. Fingers crossed I get through all of these. And then lastly, I did just want to say I am doing a 24-hour readathon with the BookTube Besties this month. We are doing that on March 18th, and you guys know, like, I simply cannot select my TBR for a 24-hour readathon at this time. I usually do it around the time that I do the 24-hour readathon, or like this month's 24-hour readathon. I just ended up picking it day of. So some of these books that I mentioned might be in that 24-hour readathon, or I will just go rogue, freestyle, pick something new, and I'll just end up reading something totally different. So we'll see what I end up reading this month. But I did want to say regarding the 24-hour readathon, we kind of call it like our 24-hour slumber party readathon. As I said, we're doing it March 18th, and we are going to be sprinting all day. I think we're doing sprints on Hannah's channel and then my channel, and just wanted to open that up to you all. If you guys want to join us, there are no rules. It's very casual. You can start whenever, but essentially we're all going to wake up on Saturday morning and start reading and stay up as long as we can, and then the readathon ends Sunday morning. So if you guys want to join us, definitely follow me on Instagram. I'll have all of that information, and I'm also going to have all of the beautiful BookTube Besties linked down below. Go subscribe to them and also follow their socials so you can keep up to date with when we're doing that. But once again, like, it's very casual, it's very fun. We did face masks last time, which was really fun. So if you guys want to grab a face mask, read all day on Saturday, March 18th, we would love for you guys to join us. So that is it. Those are all of the books that I am going to hopefully be reading in the month of March. Go ahead and let me know down in the comments, what are you reading in March? What are you most looking forward to? What is at the top of your TBR? If you made it to this point in the video and you wanted to let me know, go ahead and leave the bouquet of flowers, because spring is coming and I am so excited about it. I know that's like so annoying. Oh, also daylight savings is this month, you guys. It's gonna be lighter later. Thank goodness. It affects my mood so much. I definitely have seasonal affective disorder. Shout out if you were also affected by seasonal affective disorder. I hope you're okay. Anyway, I'm gonna end the video now. So thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Goodreads. They are always linked down below. I really appreciate that you watched this video. I hope that you're having a fantastic day. I love you all so much, and I will catch you guys in the next one.